All right, after Democritus, Aristotle came along just a few years later. He rejected Democritus's theory. He believed that all things were infinitely divisible. Give this a shot. Infinitely divisible and composed of only one substance called hyle. This idea held throughout the Middle Ages of Europe. Now there's a reason why it lasted for so long. If you disagreed with Aristotle, let's see if I can draw this. The video put it kind of showed a thing just like this. If you disagreed with Aristotle, there was this issue because Aristotle was in charge of the church had designated him as the church scientist. So it wasn't good to disagree with him, and if you did, you lost your head. So there wasn't a lot of scientists that were willing to disagree with him, even if they did disagree with him. All right, so the difference between Democritus and Aristotle is whether it is divisible or not. All right, over here you can see these pictures. They're probably in your lab book too. These are early models for salt, water, and iron atoms. This would be a salt atom if it existed. That's what they thought it would look like. If you look at salt, it's squarish. This would be what they thought a water droplet or a water atom would look like. There is no such thing as a water atom. We call it a water molecule, but back then they figured it was an atom or a piece of hyle or whatever composed that made it water. And then this was their image of iron, so what they thought it looked like. So people believed Aristotle for a long time. If you look, we go all the way from 322 BC to the 1700s with this idea of hyle, and that matter can be infinitely divided. That is going to become not true awfully quick. Okay, so in the homework, and it does, by the way, it asks you to draw and describe the model of each scientist. So if you had to do Aristotle, you would draw his, I don't know how you want to do it, but a circle that can be broken down into other smaller particles, which can be broken down into even smaller particles, which can be broken down even into smaller particles, which can be broken down into even smaller particles. All right, so that is Aristotle's idea, and the only difference is that it's small, but infinitely, I know you can't read my writing, but oh well, divisible. That is Aristotle's idea. All right, make sure that you understand the difference. That's right here. Democritus, not divisible. Aristotle, divisible. An easy way to remember that is to remember about America. We are a democracy. And if you remember the Pledge of Allegiance, we are indivisible. All right, so you can put those two together. Democritus, indivisible. Aristotle, always divisible.